Who is this guy?
This is Frank Mutolo.
I don't know who you are. Who are? Oh, it's the mayor.
Jose Jimenez.
Good morning.
Good morning. How are you?
That's an old bit. That's an old classic bit, by the way.
Well, it's not. Is it really that old?
Well,
so I just gave.
I knew about it. I'm not that old.
Frank Mutolo is our
Hi,
IT
Frank.
director.
Good morning.
So again, we were talking about the 311, and Frank really
Got it. All right.
was the one that kind of. I gave him
Okay.
what I was looking for, and Frank
Beautiful.
is the one that crafted.
All right. So let's talk 311 first, and we were discussing the app earlier this morning. So talk about, Frank, the app. This is obviously moving things into a technical world now where we all should be.
Let me just jump in first before that. I mean, this administration from day one is providing the best service we can, and this is just the next generation to provide that service. So I think if you look at any type of municipality, the only thing that you have to provide is service.
Right,
and so the better you could deliver a service, the better the product is. The better the product is, more people are able to reinvest into our city.
So 311 means you go to this app, you download it to your phone, and you could report maybe a housing codes issue. You could report potholes. You can
high grass, garbage, litter, a plethora of streetlights that are not out. So
how do they do it? I'm going to download the app. I'm not in Utica, but I travel through Utica. Is it okay for an outsider to download the app? And
absolutely.
Yeah, so
anyone can download it. The only thing it'll do is if you're reporting an issue that's outside of the city of Utica.
Got it. Okay.
It will notice that it's outside of the city of Utica. It'll give you a warning to that.
Is it GPS connected or?
Yes. Well, what it does is it'll geotag the photographs.
I love it.
It just makes it more accurate because in the case of potholes, we use that for example. There could be a street that has 9 different potholes on it. You call in and you say there's a pothole in front of the blue house on the corner.
Right.
There might be 2 blue houses. There might be 3. So when the crews go out to fix one, they may fix a pothole, but not the pothole.
So you're going to be able, when you take that picture, it's going to recognize where it is based on GPS. But that was what we talked about earlier.
Yeah.
AT&T did this a long time ago when there was talking about the dead spots in their coverage. This might be 10 years ago. So you could go to their app or whatever, and when you filed a complaint, it would actually register the dead zone that you were in when it was going bad. This is that same type of thing.
I
like
don't know anything about that, but also it gives you have a photograph when the crews go out. They'll say, well, that's the pothole they're talking about. And they're instructed as well to look around left and right, north and south, to see if there's any other ones in that immediate area that they can repair.
All right.
To go back to your original statement, though, the way we've evolved is the first thing we did was have a form on our website, a reporting form to report issues, which is kind of cumbersome if you have a mobile device, a cell phone. Everybody has. You're going to go log to a website to go to a form and fill it out on a phone. It just didn't make sense.
Yeah,
so the next natural progression was to make something that someone can use on a mobile device that they have in their pocket.
Picture, not a lot of typing, and
exactly. There's all categories of different problems, and we went through all our records and seen what the most common reported issues were. There's subcategories of those problems: paving, delamination, potholes, curb issues, whatever it may be. The other part of it is when someone has an issue. It's a guessing game of who do I call at City Hall? Whose department is this? Who do I call? They call the mayor's office. They call anybody they can get a hold of. What the app does is it automatically routes
knows where it's going based on the problem.
Trouble ticket based on what it is.
All right.
It may be a department, it may be 2 departments, maybe more.
Again, not that it matters that I like it, but I like it. I think this is
it's if you want to be the best city, a little city in America, these are the type of applications you have to have. It makes us more accountable. It makes the connection with the businesses and the residents a little stronger, and that's what we're trying to accomplish.
Pretty state of the art here, I would say. Andrew,
does it allow for you to get notices out faster to people in the city, or are you using that also as a way to communicate with residents of the city?
Well, your parking alerts when snowstorms, and
that's we're working on that.
No, that app does not take that into consideration. Wasn't the focus of that app. Yes, it does notify you that we received your complaint. It'll notify that you're the first one to report it. You're not.
But it's not pushing out. It's not pushing out snow emergencies.
No, we've looked at that. We are looking into that. That's a little bit different. it may require
Yeah.
some tweaks to that.
Well,
program.
eventually down the road, the public notice that you have to pay for to put in the newspaper.
Yes.
Down the road, it's only logical that we're going to get our notices pushed right into our own technology.
Into your electric car while you're
Into
driving.
your electric car, right?
Well, you're not driving. You're just sitting back.
Yeah, that's true.
Having a cup
While
of
you're
coffee.
eating
and-
breakfast.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm
Multitasking.
assuming that's down the road.
Actually, we do have another system that's not used for reporting issues. It's an entirely different system.
Okay.
It's an internal system, but it does have the capabilities of doing that. I'm not sure if there's going to be any fee involved. I mean, there'll be fees involved for us as licensing per mobile device, so we're going to have a number of those.
Got it.
It may be marginal, the fees, but
Okay.
it's another program that we already have
That you're looking into.
that will do that.
Okay.
We were going to use it for some other purposes, but
All
we
right.
may incorporate
And let's
that.
not confuse the 311 with the 911 emergency. Obviously, if there's anything of an emergency, it's always called 911.
How'd you get to 311? How'd you come up with that?
It's an app.
Open 311 is an initiative across the country. It started
Got
in
it.
Washington. It's for non-emergency situations for folks to report to their government agencies. It's a kind of a standard. It's not the 311 that used to be dialed on a
Got
telephone.
it. Okay.
Quickly, what did this cost to put this app together? And
Well, this app it costs $20,000, but it is not just this app. It's a foundation for some other apps that we're building for internal use. Street sign inventory, for example, it's already developed.
Okay.
It's the same foundation, the same database. So we have some cost involved in doing that as well.
And then just quickly, we're talking about potholes. Is there a plan in place for the? I know you were meeting with the council for the extra $3 million in the paving plan.
Yeah, we've already we're established, and we've brought in a consultant who has expertise on paving over 30 years. So we're definitely moving forward at this point. It was voted on by the people, and obviously this first year we're going to have something. A substantial increase in the paving, and then we'll move forward from that point on. Just a shout out, because I think the other aspect of the 311 is that Capraro Technologies, who is a Utica-based company, is the format is how this came to be. So a little bit of a shout out to Dr. Jerry Capraro.
Hospital downtown meetings, downtown hospital meetings going on today, 1 till 4, 5 till 8. At the Radisson.
Yes.
Big deal. The transparency important. You're happy that the hospital is targeting downtown.
I am certainly happy that they've chosen the downtown. And
do you worry about the governor's
happier.
money coming through?
You know what? I've heard at this point that it's committed, and I have to go at the premises at this point that we're moving forward. And I think the due diligence, the worst thing would be is if the hospital was not moving forward, then they could say, well, listen, we had this money for you, the $300 million, and you really haven't stepped forward. I think you see a progressive action happening now. I think the reaching out to the public is paramount. There's pros and cons, and you need to see constructive criticism. So I'm looking forward today to going there and listening.
Okay, so you'll be
as
there
we
today.
develop. I'll be there for not the whole duration, but I'll be there for the 1 o'clock and the 5 o'clock.
I received a call the other day from someone who used to work with Alarica. Is that how the old APAC building?
Yes.
Blaming the city on not fairly negotiating and living up to the deal when it came to it must have been so there was a decrease. There's a program that allows them to alleviate some of the lease expenses, and they said that their dealings with the IDA, they're completely blaming them on the fact that they're losing those 200 jobs. Your thoughts on that?
False. We've had a great working relationship with them. If you remember, we were one of the very first to have a open job fair at the city.
Why
of
are
Utica.
they leaving the building? Because it's not the jobs aren't being eliminated; they're just eliminating that
moving it up
location.
there. And again, that would be between themselves, the lease, and Gaetano. And I've talked to the Gaetanos at this point. There's already things in moving forward for the appropriate use for that space. But I think it was clearly a business decision.
All right.
Again, the manager is part of my inclusion team that I have. So the relationship has been very strong. As far as the city of Utica, we're very open and receptive to any type of a business, what we can do, but we cannot change the format of a company with their cost analysis that comes out to be.
Roundabout, you're good with the roundabout on Oriskany Street.
I think the road diet over there is a necessity. It brings the walkability, the bikeability, the vehicle to slow it down a little bit is what we're looking for. I'm looking forward to the next steps, which would be obviously from North Genesee Street coming into Genesee Street, where that you have the development of Bag Square, the harbor, and all the great things that even in Broad Street. So I'm looking for the next phase of this. We had the north-south arterial. Now you're going to have roughly about a $12.5 million along these lines. And I just think these are all progressively moves that are making the city a very viable opportunity for new businesses coming in and for the future of the downtown area as a neighborhood.
So AMS, the announcement. I did watch the press conference, and I saw your statement saying that you don't believe people have moved into Utica based on nanotechnology. I want you to think about that again and tell me if you really believe that that's the case, because I've talked to several people that have that say they've invested here based on these new jobs that are coming in, and they're very alarmed about the fact that they're not coming.
Let's look at two things. First of all, the development of our downtown has been our development of our downtown. That's something we can control. The larger picture is what happens for the next 5, 10, 15 years with Nano and potentially a hospital. That's obviously some people looking at that and reinvesting. The people who have invested, let's look at Mike Pezzanella. He took a huge opportunity, and a lot of people would have walked away from it. It's successful. They're all rented out at this point. The downstairs is taking care of it. That's happening at Bassett and all the development of the downtown businesses that we have. You had a business, quite frankly, Delicious, that was not on the tax rolls, that they purchased it and went up for sale, and someone is purchasing, pending at this point, with the advent of, doesn't make a difference.
What are they going to do in there, by the way, at the Delicious?
They should have an announcement coming up.
Okay,
but again, there should be, you don't
want to steal their thunder.
Absolutely.
Okay, I get that.
It's all great things. And so I guess my point is that things are continuing to move on. Is on the horizon, are there people looking at the additional jobs coming in? Absolutely. Are people looking for the excitement of our harbor, which is a couple of years? Absolutely. But these are all the things that will be happening. The announcement of AMS, unfortunately, that was a hurdle that we have in front of us. It would have been an opportunity for us if they were coming in, but because of all the rationale and the reasons happening, I just think it's a road, a little bit of a bump in the road.
Doesn't it have to be? I mean, doesn't the governor have to? If you sat down with the governor, and I've been told you're good with the governor.
Yes, I am.
What in the hell is he thinking here? Is he going to fix this?
Well, again, I've had in-depth conversations with Steve DeMio and Howard Zemsky. And on both levels, I feel very confident that they're working extremely hard. The fact that the $585 million is staying in this area, the fact that the $50 million for the infrastructure will take place in spring, I look at it as an opportunity at this point for the next site to come in here to be completely ready for, instead of an 18-month duration, a little bit shorter. So am I optimistic? Yeah. Was I upset that this happened? Absolutely, because you know what? We've been talking about these things for years and years and years. And it comes to a point, Bill, is don't tell me, show me. So I think that's where we are at this point. Enough talk. And
I know that the Pacenti and Griffo are both boycotting the event in Syracuse that the governor has, and Brindisi as well is boycotting.
Yes.
Will you go to the governor's?
No, I definitely will be there. I want to hear what the state of the state's going to be.
You don't feel that maybe some camaraderie with?
There's no question. Listen, you have two legislators that on a different level. They have reasons, and I respect that. I guess what I'd rather do is face-to-face talk to the governor and find out exactly, let him know my sentiments. I think that my voice being heard face-to-face is stronger than me not going there, not being able to say anything to him. And again, maybe when I come back, I'll have a little bit more of an understanding that he's coming back into the area, and let him know that the displeasure that I have is the fact that I would have loved to seen the governor in the city, taking the reins and the leadership that I believe listen, when difficult times come, strong leaders step to the plate.
They are, right now, both Brindisi and Griffo are extremely critical, aggressively critical against the governor right now. Your thoughts on that?
I guess they have every right to be upset. They are part of the legislative branch. That is the executive branch. They work with the governor on a daily basis, and I'm sure that this is not the only issue that they're concerned about. And I think what they're trying to do, and it seems to be not just a Democratic, it's a Republican and Democrat together,
right.
With a loud, clear message at this point. But coming back as a mayor of the city of Utica, I have a responsibility to all the residents of the city of Utica to hear it firsthand from the governor, and that's what I plan on doing on Wednesday.
And do you feel you have the relationship where you could speak to the governor?
I certainly listen. Rob Palmieri doesn't. What you see is what you get. I will certainly echo my sentiments at this point.
Will you say something in Syracuse?
If I have the opportunity, absolutely I will. Yeah, right. Absolutely. That's the whole reason why I'm going there, is to have the opportunity to at least have that conversation with them.
Because it seems that the ball has been dropped, and it's cost us dearly. Well, and I do fear that the whole nano term is something the governor is running from right now, which does not make us all feel comfortable.
Not at all, but I guess the commitment is still here on the money that's staying here. Mm-hmm. That hasn't wavered whatsoever. The additional $50 million for the infrastructure is there. And again, I love it. Love to have the opportunity to talk to him face to face. It may be a 2-minute conversation, but in that 2 minutes, he could echo what I feel, and I'll be able to at least articulate where he has to say.
Okay.
Howard Zemke has been very strong. I had about a 45-minute conversation with him about Nano, along with Steve DeMio. So they're committed. It should have rolled out differently than it did. It did not. That's the past. I need to look into the future and make sure.
Would you agree that long term, and even 4 or 5 years down the road, for everything to sustain, all the new opportunities that have come in, the new businesses that have popped up, for the ability to sustain these new businesses, and for us to continue to move forward, jobs have to come here. High-paying jobs that people can live on have to come here.
If you're looking for the transformation that we've talked about, there's no question.
Can't happen without the jobs.
You can't, but you can't put all your eggs in one basket also. Mm-hmm. And I think that's what we have to do. We have a lot of great things. I think our cost of living in the city of Utica, I think our quality of life is superior. I think the fact that we're on the thruway, that accessibility is there. We have not tapped into the Adirondacks whatsoever. So I think, putting all my eggs in one basket, I think I have a great product. We go back to the 311 for other developments to come in here. And, as the harbor develops, hopefully the hospital develops, and then you have Nano. That's the transformation of our great region that we're looking for. Right. But if you're asking me, am I optimistic about the city of Utica in the next 5 to 10 years? 100%.
Okay. Mayor Rob Palmieri, thanks so much. And thank you as well. I like the app. We think the 311 app is a real positive. Broadway having a big show this week, Wednesday and Thursday. There you'll see restaurants packed. And, these tech shows, Mayor, are bringing a lot of people. We were out to dinner on Saturday night, and the restaurants around the Stanley all filled with people from the show that are working on the show. That's a positive.
So you're going all back to the things that I'm talking about.
All right,
where else could you go and have the Stanley, Munson Williams, and all the great attributes that we have here?
Got it.
That's the reason why people are investing in our city.